Okay, so in today's video we are going to talk about how to check the visibility of an element. For that we are going to make use of this functionality from our application, and the functionality is like this is the section element displayed example. This section, the functionality of this section is when you load the page, the element would be in seen state or shown state, this edit control. Now I will click on this hide button. So hide button makes this element invisible and show button makes it visible, right? This element. Now we are going to automate this test case, that in the script we are going to check whether the hide and show these buttons work indeed fine or not. So for that we are going to click on hide button and going to check this gets hidden or not. Then we are going to click on show button, and then we are going to again see or again check whether this edit control is shown back to us or not, right? So this is our test. Here we have set the path of our driver exe. Chrome driver is a class implemented in Selenium libraries. Okay, so here we are creating an object of Chrome driver class. So this constructor is a parameterless constructor which has been implemented inside the library. Okay, so it is implemented inside the library. So this constructor will start the driver exe. A communication channel between the script and the driver exe would be established. So this is called session establishment. So there would be a session establishment here. So in that session establishment, script will establish a session with the driver. Driver will start the browser here in this session establishment, and there would be a communication established between these three entities. Script to driver, and driver will automate the browser according to the instructions. So here we are maximizing the browser, and then driver.get is for opening the URL in the browser. So this is the URL we opened. Okay, now first thing what we are going to do, we are going to do a click on this hide button. Now whenever we want to represent this operation in our test, so the first thing is the identification of the control. So the first question is identification of control. So first we have to decide which technique we want to use here. Like we have seen three different techniques. I will just mention them here. So one is image identification, second is native identification, and third is relational. So in image identification we use the image of a control to identify the element. In native we use the properties, and here in the relational we make use of the relationship. Now as we had already discussed, the image identification is dicey. Even a small change in the display of a control may invalidate the identification. So we are going to go for this native identification, where properties are going to be used, properties of element, right? So how to check which properties or attributes are set to this element? For that we have to right click that element and say inspect. So I'm inspecting that element here, and this is the HTML control, the corresponding HTML control. So I'll just copy this element and I will just put it here, right? Now in this we have got different attributes. So this is an ID attribute having this value set. There is a class attribute having this value set. There is a value attribute having this value set, and there is on click which points to the function to be called after we click on that button, and type attribute set with this value. So these are the attribute set. So what we need to first decide on is, out of this attribute set, okay, out of this attribute set, which one we would like to use, whether we would like to use ID attribute for finding an element, class attribute for finding an element, value attribute for finding an element, or which of this. For that we have to first see which attribute, before we decide on which attribute to go for the identification. We have to see which is uniquely set. Unique identification for UI automation tool is very important. So UI automation tool should find only single element, okay, then only it would be able to work on. So IDs and names, these attributes are usually set to the unique values. IDs and name attribute is not set here. We will talk about name attribute when we will identify the other elements. So ID attributes, this ID attribute, name attribute, they are usually uniquely set. Why they are uniquely set, I'll just mention it here. In client-side validations, that is, when my developer wants to validate the data entered in the elements, so the developer writes the code for that purpose. So that code they write in JavaScript as a part of the web page itself. So in that code they identify the element, but their purpose of identifying the element and our purpose of identifying the element is different. So their purpose is to identify the element, retrieve the values from, say, this control, and check in the code whether the value is correct or not. So that is their purpose. But for this purpose they set some unique attributes to the control like ID or name, because in JavaScript there are functions available like get element by ID, get element by name. So these functions are available in JavaScript. So using those scripts, developers find the elements, take the values from them, and they validate those values, right? So for that purpose they set the ID and name attributes usually to the unique values, because they help them in implementing the client-side validations. That's why if you see ID or name set to any element, usually these attributes are set to the unique values always, right? Now we will make use of ID attribute for finding our hide button. So this is our hide button. It has got an ID attribute set. So for ID attribute, Selenium, let's talk about here, driver dot. Now there are various find element by methods available. You can see find element by class name. It is for using class attribute for finding an element. Find element by ID. It is for using ID attribute. Find element by link text is for hyperlinks. Actually, we will talk about it afterwards. Find element by name is used to find the element using its name attribute. This partial link test is again for hyperlinks. Find element by tag name. This tag name is for using tag names for finding the elements. Tag name means this is what is called tag name. So if you want to make use of this, if it is uniquely set for the control you want to identify, you will use find element by tag name. Now here I will pass this hide dash text box here. So what this will do, it will instruct our driver to go to the browser's DOM. This is called DOM, document object model. That is the page representation of the web page. So we are instructing our driver, right, to translate this API into Chrome's native automation API, which will be responsible for finding an element in the browser DOM having ID set to this value. So it will go here, find the element, and that element's scripting reference would be returned to us. Scripting reference means I'll tell you what is meant by scripting reference. So I want to work on this control now. So this is the identification of the control. So identification happened. Now we need the scripting reference in the form of variable so that we can call the different APIs like click, send keys and all in order to work with the different UI controls. So the scripting reference or the variable, or you can say the object of this, the representation object for this control would be written to us, which is web element. So web element is for, so web element basically represents the UI element on the page. So this web element is again a class from Selenium. So let's import it. And now here in this web element class, if this is an object of this class, so we got the element returned, right? So this hide button variable represents this hide button on the UI in our test. So this is the representer. This is the representer for this UI control. So if you put a dot, you will get to see the different APIs using which we can interact with the UI controls as a part of our testing steps. Clicking, typing, any kind of an UI interaction. Let's say you want to check the state of a particular control, whether it is disabled or not, whether it is enabled or not. So if you want to work on the UI controls of the from the application, you can make use of the APIs here. So you will choose the correct API based on the kind of interaction you would like to have on that. So we want to click on that hide button, right? We want to click on this hide button. Hence I called click. So now whatever APIs I will call with the reference of this variable, those interactions or those operations would be performed on this hide button on my screen, on my page. Right? That is what the representer is all about. Now once I click on this hide button, now next what I want to do, I want to check the visibility of this element, right? So let's identify that element, but for identification let's spy that element. This operation of inspecting and understanding which attributes are set to that control is called spy operation or inspect operation. So here you guys can see again the ID attribute is set, name attribute is set, there is a class attribute, placeholder, type, style. So let's go with the name attribute this time. So name attributes, as I had mentioned, that name and ID, these are usually set by the developers to facilitate the client-side validations, and they usually set it to unique value. So name, so I will say web element text box. I am just creating one variable and going to assign a driver dot find element by name. Find element by name. So this will find the element, and the scripting reference of this element now would be stored here. Now what we want to do, we don't want to do any interaction with this. We want to check whether it is disabled, whether it is invisible or not, right? So our hide button should make this control invisible. So how to check that? So text box dot. So we don't want to do any interactions, right? I want to check the status of that control. So is, so there are 3 APIs available to check the status, different kinds of status regarding a particular element. So this is displayed will give you the it will give you the idea about the display state of that control, whether it is displayed or not. Enable will give you, is enabled will give you the idea about enabled state of that element, and selected will give you the idea about selected state of that element. We will talk about enabled and selected afterwards, but right now we will make use of this is displayed. So this is displayed returns Boolean value. You can check, it returns Boolean value. So Boolean value, so in that Boolean value it indicate it send us the details about the display state of it. So I'll say Boolean is visible. I'll saving this value in some variable. So this will return me true. This will return me true if the element is visible. So this boolean will contain true value if the control is, this text box control is visible on the screen, otherwise it will return false. Now what are we expecting after we click on hide button? We expect this variable to contain false value. So is displayed should return as false. So what I will do is I will check indeed if is visible is indeed false or not. If it is false, so I will give a message that hide button work fine, passed. If let's say if after clicking on the hide button, say because of the bug, that this still remained, this text box after clicking on hide, this still remained visible because of the bug, say. So in the test, when our test will execute, this text box dot is displayed will return true here, and this if statement will get false. True equal to false, which is false, right? So if will get false, and in that case I want to mention that hide button doesn't work fine, failed, right? Failed. Now let's see how to check. Like we check the hide button. Now we want to check after clicking on show, this show indeed brings that element in the view again. So for that, let's inspect this show button. You have to click on this arrow. For inspecting the element, you have to click on this arrow and go here, right? And how to come to this window, I'll tell you again. That right click on the page, anywhere you can right click, select this inspect menu option, right? So you would be inside the browser here, and then you can click on an arrow and hover your mouse pointer on an element, and once you click on that element, it gets freezed. The DOM will get freezed, and you will see that it's that elements, the clicked elements representation is highlighted in the blue on the right side of the screen here. So the show button again has the ID set. So we will make use of ID again. So I'll say web element. So I'm defining a variable to store the scripting reference returned, driver dot find element by ID. Right, and then we will say show button dot click. So this will click on the show button. So what we want to do after we click on the show button, we want to check the is displayed of this text box. Now we don't need to identify it. We have already identified that element and kept in our variable. So that same variable we can use. So simply I will copy this. I'll just query the is displayed. So I'll just query here the display state of it. So now what I am expecting this is visible to contain, I am expecting is visible should now be true, because this show button click should make our text box visible, and text box is displayed. Once it is visible now, the text box, it will return true, and that is what we are confirming here, whether it is indeed true or not, to make sure that the show button works fine or it doesn't, right? So show. Now let's quickly execute this test. So I will just, like these changes you don't need to do it, guys. I have some problem with the compatibility on this machine. That's why I just need to do in between every test execution, but you guys don't need. You guys simply will right click and run as Java application. Wait a minute, I just want to see there is an error. I just missed the semicolon here. Right, everything is perfect. Now I will run this Java application. Now you guys can see the browser got opened. This browser got the WND handle set. So WND handle is the unique property set by the OS to every window. So our driver captures that WND handle, and by that driver understands which browser window to work on. And now we have got our test executed. It's so fast that we didn't even realize that the hide button, it indeed made this element invisible and again made it visible. But that's fine. We can check here the messages. So hide button, after hide button got clicked on. If you guys want to see, what I can do is I can make the test pause here for some time. Thread.slip. I'll make it pause for 5 seconds. After we click on hide button and after we click on show button, I will again make it pause for 5 seconds. So here I will close the window. Here again I need to go here to set that compatibility checkbox. You guys don't do it. I'm again repeating. You don't do it in between. This is some problem on my machine. And now this thread.slip has, I'll just say add throws declaration. This has got one unhandled exception. So we have to just mention it. So I'll say run as Java application, and now let's see. I'll just scroll down a page a bit so that you guys can see that hide button is indeed making that control hidden. So see here, it will click on, now see here, it has clicked on this hide. This became invisible. Our test checked it, show it made that element visible again, and our test case also confirmed that the hide button is working fine and show button is working fine.